Sing, O Muse, of the rage of Achilles, of Peleus' son, murderous man-killer, fated to die. Sing of the rage that cost the Achaeans so many good men, and sent so many vital, hearty souls down to the dreary house of death. What you heard there were the opening lines of the Iliad, one of Homer's greatest Greek poems, a book full of great legends and villains, heroes and monsters, gods and mortals. But today, we will only be focusing on one of these key players, and his tale during the Trojan War. So let's start by introducing our hero. Meet Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Greeks, known for his incredible strength, unmatched skill in battle, and a bit of a temper. Born to the mortal Peleus and the sea nymph Thetis, Achilles was destined for greatness, and greatness he did achieve, but not without a fair share of drama. His mom even gave him a special dip in the river Styx, making him everywhere except for his heel. And yes, that is where we get the saying. Fast forward a few years and we find Achilles at the centre of the Trojan War, a massive conflict sparked by Paris of Troy snatching Helen from King Menelaus of Sparta. Now, you're probably wondering why Achilles, a Pythian, is going to war with Menelaus, a Spartan, against Paris, a Trojan. Well, to explain this, we have to look back. Back in the day, Helen was Greece's most eligible bachelorette, so much so that there was an entire contest for her hand in marriage. Now, every king in ancient Greece wanted her. This led to them all piling onto the island, and the king of the island, Helen's father, was kind of unhappy with the fact that there were so many people that, if one of them didn't get picked, they might just declare war on the other and try and take Helen by force. So, Odysseus, as smart as ever, made all the attending kings swear to protect the marriage of whoever Helen chose. This meant they had to defend the marriage no matter what, even if it came to war. Now, nobody thought this would actually be a result, but of course, then came Paris. Now, Paris couldn't keep his loins out of other people's business, and when he was asked by the three gods, Hera, Aphrodite and Athena, which one was more beautiful, each promised him a different gift. Aphrodite promised him the most beautiful girl in the land, Hera promised him to be king of the world, and Athena promised him victory in all wars to come. He chose Aphrodite, and Aphrodite gave him Helen. Now, this is where it gets up to speculation, but pretty much Paris goes and kidnaps Helen. This leads to everyone in that pact to come to Menelaus' defense and to go get Helen back. So, fast forward, and the Greek army, led by King Agamemnon, was itching for a fight, and Achilles was their star player. But it wasn't just about getting Helen back for Achilles, no. It was also about glory and honour, the stuff legends are made of. Little did he know, his greatest challenge wouldn't come from the Trojans, but from within his own camp. Now, here's where things get a bit problematic. After a fierce battle, the Greeks capture a beautiful captive named Briseis, who was awarded to Achilles. But then, Agamemnon, the Greek commander, decides he wants her for himself, after having to return his own captive Chryseis to appease the god Apollo. Though Achilles does give Briseis over, he definitely isn't happy about it. With that whole debacle out of the way, Achilles is pissed, so cue the epic sulk. Achilles, feeling dishonoured and enraged, decides to withdraw from the battle. He refuses to fight, and the Greek army starts to struggle without their star warrior. The Trojans, led by Hector, take advantage of this and push the Greeks back towards their ships. The tide of war has turned against the Greeks, and all because of one man's pride and another's arrogance. This is what we call a classic Greek tragedy, folks. Meanwhile, Achilles' close friend and totally not gay lover, Patroclus, can't bear to see the Greeks suffer. He begs Achilles to let him wear his armour and lead the men into battle, hoping that the mere sight of Achilles' armour will scare the Trojans. Achilles refuses, but Patroclus takes matters into his own hands, and donning Achilles' armour, Patroclus heads into the fray. Patroclus fights bravely, and leads a successful charge, but he's no match for the likes of Hector. In a tragic turn of events, Hector brutally kills Patroclus, thinking he has slain Achilles. And when Achilles learns of his friend's death, his sorrow quickly turns to blind rage. Patroclus' death is a turning point, and with Achilles' grief and rage becoming the driving force that propels him back into battle, setting the stage for a clash of titans. Fueled by grief and a thirst for revenge, Achilles finally returns to the battlefield. He is like a force of nature, cutting down Trojan warriors left and right, all the while seeking out Hector. Achilles' return strikes fear into the hearts of the Trojans, and the battle turns into a one-man show of fury and skill. There's no stopping him now. The climax of this epic tale comes with the duel between Achilles and Hector, the mightiest Trojan warrior. It's a fight for honor, revenge, and the fate of the war itself. Despite Hector's skill, he is no match for Achilles, who quickly and brutally kills Hector. But Achilles isn't satisfied with just winning. He desecrates Hector's body, dragging it around the walls of Troy, leashed to the back of his chariot to make a point. Achilles' rage had consumed him, turning him from a hero to a merciless killer. With Hector gone, Achilles has avenged his friend, but his rage leaves him isolated and haunted by his actions. His wrath has won him glory, but at a terrible cost. In a moment of humanity, Achilles is moved by the grief of Priam, Hector's father, and agrees to return Hector's body for a proper burial. It's a rare glimpse of compassion in a tale filled with rage and vengeance. However, Achilles' story doesn't end on a high note. Not long after the death of Hector, he meets his own fate, killed by an arrow to his infamous heel, the one vulnerable spot that led to his downfall. Thus ends the tragic tale of a hero who burned too brightly and too fiercely. And just like that, one of the greatest heroes in Greek history is gone. No epic battle, no sacrifice for victory, no triumphant win. He simply dies of an arrow. Some accounts say it was Paris who shot him, others say it was Apollo himself, but either way, Achilles was no more. His rage had driven him, as was fated, to die at Troy, but to live forever in legend. The story of Achilles reminds us of how thin the line between heroism and hubris really is. His wrath brought him glory, but also sorrow and regret. It's a tale as old as time, teaching us the powerful lesson that unchecked rage can lead to our downfall. Thanks for joining us on this epic journey through one of Greek mythology's most gripping tales. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Until next time,